Hey guys, Shane here at Tank Out of Miniatures, and today we're going over my tournament results bringing the Custodes tank army. Now, as you can see, it's a pretty simple list. They don't really have a lot of options, the old Custodes, but what they do pretty good. So we got 2 Land Raiders in the back, the standard loadout, the couple of las cannons, the heavy bolter, storm bolter. Not much different to a normal like Space Marine, only it's, it natively hits on 2s. So it's just more accurate. Then of course we've got the grav tanks. I'm going with the big blaze cannons, which have lethal hits against vehicles and have the twin linked. So yeah, the 4 las cannon. Basically it's a las cannon, but it does 1 extra damage. It's like a masterwork las cannon that's twin linked. So pretty dangerous. It's kind of funny though, because it looks scary. There's a lot of damage sort of output, but with only 4 shots, it's got its little bolter down the bottom, which is like it's like an assault cannon, but half the shots with an assault cannon. But anyway, it's in a weird place. It's definitely great at killing vehicles, killing larger things. It just felt like it could have had some more options, and I'll get into that soon. You'll see what happens. And then we got the grav attacks, the little palace ones there. They have 8 shots with their smaller guns, which are devastating wounds. This is really helpful because it's twin linked and it has devastating wounds. So not a huge strength, but yeah, like I said, it's can do the damage, do the job against almost anything, because you just gotta fish for 6s a lot of the time. So you generally can do some damage with these guys, and they're a bit faster, and everything has a 2-up armor save, everything has the 2-up accuracy. So it's pretty consistent. It is as it looks though. There isn't like a lot of ways to get extra shots. There is a strat you can use to give you sustained hits. That's really good on the grav attack, because it already has 8 shots, so giving that the sustained hits 1, that's basically like re-rolling hits. It evens out. You're pretty much always hitting, so that was handy to have. But aside from that, there isn't much you can sort of boost these guys. You can't support them. They're already supporting themselves. They're already there's solid, good sort of options. So it's interesting. It just plays by itself. It doesn't need anyone else around them. The tanks just go by themselves, which is interesting. Like, it's definitely strong, but it feels weird, because it doesn't feel like you're playing an army. You're just playing these separate guys doing their own things. So anyway, let's get into the first matchup. So as you can see, we're deploying down in the corner here. Got the tanks up front. This was an interesting one, you see, because we're playing against Nurgle Daemons. And they got an ally, Tzeentch Soul Grinder. That's a bit law-breaking, but whatever. He's got 4 great, he's got the 3 great unclean ones and the big named character one. Yeah, this is a horrible list. This is just horrible in all ways, but it's supposed to be. As you can see, he's deployed pretty much straight on the line as well. And it's, yeah, across the way. So and they're actually fast. You think they're going to be really slow? They're not. And they got a way to sort of teleport themselves in. So after the first couple of turns, basically he gets first turn, comes in, actually did a first turn charge. That was great. Got into the Land Raider. The Land Raider pulled back. I popped the strat so we could still shoot after it falls back. So we get out of sort of harm's way. But as you can see, they're pretty much taken the entire board. They've taken all the objectives and pretty solidly in the way. Like, I can't just sort of avoid these guys. Maybe I could, but they're such a big roadblock. It's playing against a big flesh knight, essentially, that you can't sort of get away from it. The shooting wasn't really a problem, but yeah, in close combat, they deal a lot of damage. So we spend all of our shooting, though. This is the biggest problem. All of our shooting from every tank here, we got down Rodriguez, so the one guy. it took all of it to get through his 4-up invuln and 4-up feel no pain. And it was like 22 wounds, I think, something like that. So it's just, oh, it was painful. So, hooray, we get, we finish him off. However, now we have to contend with 3 more of those, while also trying to get back the board control and, get out of our deployment zone, essentially. That's not going to happen, because on his turn, he drops in the other Great Unclean one, because it just deep strikes in next to the other one, and they all charge into the tanks there. So as you can see, I'm pushed way back into my deployment zone, and I'm pushed way into the edge of the board, with no real way of getting out of it without destroying them. And we did all right. We got a lot of shots down, but it's just so hard to cut through that many hit points and that much feel no pain. It was crazy. So yeah, as you can see, there's not much hope left for game 1. Oh yeah, he's even taken the Plague Bearers off the objective point because he's just locking me in place. So that's fun. So yeah, mission 1, we are unable to get the win for this case. It's very rare you'd be fighting an army like this, but you can see this is sort of the downfall. And it's the same downfall with any sort of tank army. You get something big that locks you in combat, and it just, it ruins your game plan. This is a bit of a hard counter to the army. I'm not sure if I would have done much better with any other army, because like I said, everything's large in this, and these tanks are specifically anti-large. The grav tanks, that's the best anti-monster, anti-vehicle in the game. It's got lethal hits and, twin linked, and it's all against monsters. It's strong enough. But then again, it was wounding on 4s, because they're both strength 12 to toughness 12. So yeah, very rare case that you don't have enough shooting power to get rid of these guys. So yeah, as you can see, look at that. He just removed the army with ease. Very unfortunate, but you get this sometimes. It's very interesting. By the end of the game, I removed a couple, and I got most of them, wounded pretty far. But yeah, it's just, I can't come back on points. There's just no way to pull back in. So next game, a bit more balanced list. We're looking at some Primaris, Space Marines. He has some Outriders there, the Dreadnought, some Aggressors, some Eradicators, Heavy Intercessors, and he's got some Blade Guard in the Impulsor. As you were saying, it's pretty much just out of the box set, pretty much what they recommend. So this is, of course, like a starting army for your Space Marines, which is all pretty good. Playing the Gladius, so they get their doctrines, just the base Space Marine. This is, like I said, this is a starting army for a Space Marine player. This is pretty much expected to what you'll bring with the box sets and stuff. So anyway, we get started there. This was a fun mission. This is you gotta push the unexploded ordnance into your deployment zone. So it's a lot of push and shove, and I didn't think I'd do very well with that, because of course that requires actions, and I don't really want to do actions, I just want to shoot. So it came down to that sort of choice. But he gets turn 1. As you can see, he pulls the Impulsor out, grabs that objective. He gets the Outriders there. They go into whatchamacallit doctrine, assault, so they're able to charge, and then charge after advancing, sorry. So they get me right in my deployment zone. They are fast, because they also automatically go to 6, so they instantly cross the board straight up in my grill. However, they can't do any damage to me. Even with the AP1, a lot of attacks with the chaplain there, they just aren't able to do any significant damage. All they're doing really is keeping me in my zone, which isn't a bad strategy. We saw it work in the last game, pushing me back. But in a map like this, where we're spread across the board, you sort of need more to do the same. So he's kept pretty much all the infantry in the back, protected by the runes there, so I can't target them. Which, it's good. You want to do that just to protect everyone, but at the same time, if you're corner camping, you're not going out sort of taking things. And as good as the Blade Guard sort of are there in that squadron, they aren't really going to be able to... They're not anti-tank. So that's pretty much the correct sort of way to deploy them. But maybe it would have been better to keep them all together and just done one sort of spear force attack. Just go straight up the middle with everything and split my force apart. So in my turn, we've managed to shoot off the Outriders. I was able to use the strat again to pull back the tank, and then we use that and the grav attacks to just devastating wound them off the board. We weren't able to quite do enough damage to the Redemptor. I think he's still alive with just a few wounds, which is very surprising. But we got down the Impulsor. It had the invuln saves. That took a little bit more, and we're able to, I think, get some damage onto the Blade Guard, just a little bit. But yeah, it was mostly now spreading ourselves out, and we got some objectives, and we're pushing forward with the tanks there. So on this turn, you see he's brought out the Eradicators to do some damage to us. Wait, what happened there? Oh yeah, I guess he blew up that Land Raider. That's fun. So Calgar's there leading the aggressors. So they've come out. Oh, I see. I've missed a turn. That's why, because the Land Raider went out. It got blown off, but at the same time I blew up the Redemptor. So anyway, yeah, the Blade Guard in the left there, they were pretty much shot off the point, as you'd imagine, and then I was able to tank shock into them to secure the point mostly. I just needed that objective control and start pushing it forward. So as you can see, he's pretty much just kept in one area. It's very much like what happened to me last game. I'm kept in one spot, he's kept in one spot here, because he doesn't really want to get out into the open for the dangers of being shot off. So that's unfortunate for him. So yeah, on our turn, we're pushing up the objectives closer to his territory. We're taking off some, shots here and there. He has to come to the center to get some objective points, basically leave his safety. So he is doing pretty good. I think that grav tank's down to 5. He does feel the need to split fire some things, so he has taken out one of the grav attacks as well, and just with the Eradicators. That's the thing, when you only have one dedicated anti-vehicle unit and you have a lot of vehicles you got to fight, sometimes you have to split fire to get that done, but unfortunately you limit how effective your shooting is going to be. So that's right, in this one, Calgar had to come take out a marked target. We marked that tank down the bottom. He came down and charged, tried to do the job. He almost got it done. I think, it's down to 1 wound there. But he didn't quite get the job done. And in the end, we were able to pretty much push all the objectives up and shoot off the main damaging guys. So Calgar's gone, the aggressors are gone, and the Eradicators are down to just one guy with the apothecary that gives lethal wounds, which isn't a bad idea to give the lethal wounds, especially against high toughness armies like this. So this was a pretty good victory for us. Very much, I don't know how else he could have sort of played it. Like, he was playing it very safe and protected. I'm not sure how he would have gone if he just, maybe he would have gone better if he just went, sort of straight up the middle. Just tried to get some charges in early and just lock me down and try and keep me in place, and then maybe spread out. But it's hard to do when you're Primaris Marines, because you don't have a huge sort of body count, and you are safe. You're kind of tanky. Maybe the Outrider first turn charge was a bit of a mistake. I kind of remember Game of Thrones. Remember that in the final season when they had the riders and they just rode them straight out into the horde of zombies. It was kind of like that. He drove them straight down straight into the enemy to be destroyed. So maybe they would have been better off if they were going, maybe supporting some of the other stuff. He needed to sort of pull the army apart, take apart one tank at a time, rather than sort of slowly feeding into it. So yeah, I'm not sure how well we could have sort of done that differently, but yeah, for us, it was a good result. We were able to get the victory here. I'll just pass through that. Oh yeah, just me cleaning up. Doesn't matter. Final game. Which mission was this? Oh yeah, this is just the shoot more than your opponent, hold more objectives than your opponent. Very simple mission here. Playing on corners. This is a parking lot situation. It's hard to get everyone straight in the line. These are too big. And we're playing against Eldar. So this is fun. I haven't actually played against Eldar in a long time. Eldar are in a weird spot. They have a lot of really powerful stuff, a lot of good tricks and stuff. Maybe they need a point reduction. They need something. It's just not quite. You know, they were just too powerful in the beginning. They just got hit with some nerfs way too hard with their fate, their fate dice system, and yeah, it's a bit sad, but what can you do? So a pretty balanced army for him. He's got the bikes there. He's got a couple of war walkers. He's got the Avatar of Cain, hitting the buffs with the magic, the Farseer or whatever, giving them -1 to be wounded. So he's really tanky. He can absorb a lot. And a Wave Serpent with the big wraiths in there that are terrifying. And you wouldn't think they were, because they're anti-everything. Yeah, I didn't think on paper, because it's like, oh, they're 1 damage apiece. But yeah, they do well enough against vehicles. They're a bit scary. So I actually get first turn. I didn't want first turn. I really didn't. I didn't want to be put out in the open this early, but we went for it. We went straight up. We didn't actually get any kills this turn, so that was unfortunate. We just grabbed some quick objectives. We shoot off some shots at that War Walker. He manages to block most of them, so he's pretty wounded, but not too bad. So as you can see, we're just, yeah, not a bad position. We're kind of out in the open in a couple of places, but, you know, you got to risk it. So as you can see, the grav attack, you know, he got blown up. There was a lot of bright lances coming at him. The wraiths are now taking that corner, evacuated from the Wave Serpent. The avatars just sort of slowly making his way forward. Maybe he should have put him a bit more with a War Worker, like get him closer up faster. I'm not sure if that might have been a better play. He's being a bit safe with him now. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that was the best call to do there. So my turn, we managed to get rid of both War Walkers, and we managed to get rid of the Wave Serpent. That got us a lot of points, because now you can see we're holding more objectives. Actually, we're not quite holding more objectives just yet, but we're definitely destroying more than he's destroying of us, so that's good. So yeah, pretty good turn for us there. His turn, he's moved up. Yeah, he's used those constructs there, those guys, which aren't vehicles, even though I sort of thought they should be, but doesn't matter. He managed to get the pally, the grav attack down to 1 wound, and he really needed to destroy it, but he doesn't manage quite to crack the armor just yet. But it is close. They're definitely really good at destroying things, which is not bad. I guess, you know, the avatar, maybe that should have gone on the right hand side. Maybe you should put the those guys down the bottom. Yeah, maybe you should have split them instead of going straight up, because the avatar can tank on its own. The wraith guys, they can sort of tank on their own. Maybe it would have been better to split it around and sort of divide and conquer. Because on my next turn, we managed to not deal a huge amount of damage to the avatar. The avatar is so hard to hurt. So we put a lot of shots into him, and he just ate it. He just, kept moving forward like it was nothing, but we managed to get rid of most of the wraiths, so they are not really much of an issue anymore. So his turn, yeah, he charges both of them into the grav tank. They managed to get him down to, I think it was 2 wounds. I think it's 2 wounds we say there. So that was really lucky for me. I made some 5-up invuln saves. Just as well as he rolled his invuln saves for the Avatar of Cain, I rolled my invuln saves for the tank and came in really clutch, keeping him alive. The bikes came up the top and managed to finish off that grav attack. But at that point, the grav attack had pretty much done its job. We didn't really need him too much anymore. So then on my turn, we're able to pull back that grav tank. Luckily, he was able to make his leadership, and he was able to pull back and still shoot with the stratagem. And we're able to finish off those constructs, and we're able to finish off the Avatar of Cain, eliminating any real threat to the army. So the bikes are still pretty good. You know, it's hard for them to do a lot of damage, but you know, they're 2 damage apiece, and they are AP 1 ignoring cover. So I'm only getting a 3-up save, but I managed to spike a lot of 3-up armor saves, because they had something like 40 shots or whatever coming into that Land Raider, and the Land Raider ate all of them. It took like 4 damage in total from all those bikes. So I think they, should be just left to attacking infantry, but you do with what you have. So yeah, he's tried to attack all them. I think he had a Bright Lance left or something that finished off that grav tank, but that's fine. He served his purpose, and in the end, yeah, we're able to finish off the bikes. I didn't really think I'd have enough shots to finish the bikes. I just finished off the shots because, yeah, like I said, it's not a great amount of attacks these guys have. The Custodes tanks are very much not anti-infantry. They definitely could use like a hurricane bolt or something in there. Something, just a big, or a blast weapon, something. It's all just these direct, sort of high damage shooting shots, and yeah. Anyway, so as you can see, we got a pretty good victory in this. The grav attacks all died. We're left with just the 2 Land Raiders, 2 grav tanks, but he's not left with anything other than his swooping hawks down the bottom there, and some guardians just guarding the base, as that makes sense. So pretty good result for us. I think there was about 18 players. We came in like 6 or something. It didn't matter. We didn't quite get the victory. Yeah, that, and the Nurgle one, that went against the full War Dogs Armiger, and I actually beat that army, and that's like one of the top armies, just nothing but Armiger. Spam for Chaos Knights. That's a very hard army to beat, and all the Great Unclean ones were able to take on that. So at least, you know, the one we lost, we were beaten by the best. So that's, you can take solace in that. So what about this army? Yeah, was it fun? Yes, to an extent. It's a very mindless army, and it's very much something you can get sort of forward, and you know, you can get a match done pretty quick. I think the first match we were done, and we still had like an hour left of game time. It's just the way it worked. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this. It was the quickest I've actually built and painted and done everything to an army. It was easy to do. See, I don't know if Custodes are supposed to be like a starter set army. Like, it's low model count. It's one of the easiest ones to collect. But it just, there's something nuanced with it that I'm missing. There's something there that I'm not quite seeing. Maybe if you're a Custodes player, you can let me know. But yeah, very much feels like this is only supposed to be used for support. Like, they're here to do their job. They're not here to carry the army. All the close combat is there to carry. I feel that Custodes, you know, they're supposed to be seen as great at everything, but I feel that they're supposed to be doing what they're assigned to be doing. So the grab tanks are only supposed to be anti-tank. They're not supposed to be doing anything else. So, they're sort of programmed that way. Whilst the Custodes, the guard, they're supposed to be up the front. These tanks are never supposed to be up the front, they're supposed to be up the back. I feel that sort of mindset is built into these units, and that's what it has in mind. Because like a repulsor, that's like a toolbox. That has something for everything. Whilst these guys just have their one dedicated job they're supposed to be doing. They're going to do that job better than everyone else, but you can't expect them to do more than that. So, yeah, I feel these tanks belong in a more balanced Custode list. And how do you make a balanced Custode list? I don't know. And I don't really want to find out. So, yeah, it was fun. And even the stances came into play a bit. Because, yeah, their close combat attacks have lethal hits and AP 1. So that was kind of neat that it was sort of still a hybrid sort of combat and shooting faction. But yeah, so overall, good result, but very weird games to play. Definitely not what I was used to. Definitely, I guess, yeah, coming for what I felt satisfied, but in a weird way. It almost felt like I was cheating in a way, but yeah. Anyway, that's it for this one. They're doing the end of year 1 coming up next week. I was gonna have the Gene Steel Cults ready for that one, but I don't want to take a Gene Steel Cults vehicle only list to do a more serious tournament. We might try Space Marines again. If there's something you wanted to see me bring specifically and really try hard to win, let me know and maybe I'll try that instead, because I would like to get the victory for that like we did last year. And we got a nice Hecaton Land Fortress prize, and I wouldn't mind another nice Land Fortress prize, honestly. But that's all for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.